What is up, my bamboo shoots? I'm Panel 1 here, and welcome to Dueling Network number 27. Remember that number straight out of the gate. But anyway, I have a very interesting deck for you guys today, and it is a Gimmick puppet deck. Now, yesterday, along with the Beastcraft monsters, they also added some new Gimmick puppet cards in that first 20 lot, and then later on during the day, they added some more cards, but altogether they only added 3 Gimmick puppet cards. But these 3 Gimmick puppet cards, I think, help all of the Gimmick puppet XYZ monsters, and it just brings the archetype out a little bit more as a whole. So that's why I really like these cards, and that's why I wanted to make a deck out of it. I do believe that they need to bring out some more Gimmick puppet support cards, but these definitely work for now, especially some of the other cards I paired up with it. They really work. Now, before I get into the deck and explain some strategy, explain what cards I've got in it first, I'll just explain the new Gimmick puppets for you. So we have Gimmick puppet Magne Doll. If your opponent controls a monster and every monster you control is a Gimmick puppet monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Decent card. Gimmick puppet Necro Doll. If this card is in your graveyard, you can banish one other Gimmick puppet monster from your graveyard, special summon this card from your graveyard. You can only use the effect of Gimmick puppet Necro Doll once per turn. This card cannot be used as an XYZ material except for an XYZ summon of a Gimmick puppet monster. And then on top of those 2 new monsters, we have a spell card called Junk Puppet. And this card does target 1 Gimmick puppet monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only activate 1 Junk Puppet per turn. So that's a pretty good card just to bring Gimmick puppets back as a whole, you know. So this deck, like I said, is built around Gimmick puppets and mainly getting the Gimmick puppet synchrons out. The main one that I go to is number 15 Gimmick puppet Giant Killer, just because its effect can destroy special summon monsters, and if the special summon monsters you were destroying are XYZs, you deal damage to your opponent, so that's a very good one. And I also like to go into Gimmick puppet strings because it's just it's a pretty good beat stick, and it has a semi-decent effect, so yeah. But anyway, let's get into the deck. So first off, we have 2 Armageddon Knights. When this card is summoned, you can send 1 Dark monster from your deck to your graveyard. The reason I got this in there is because it's when you summon it, you can send the Necro Doll to the graveyard, and when you send the Necro Doll to the graveyard, you can use this effect to banish other Gimmick puppets in your graveyard, whether you have, say, another Necro Doll, Magne Doll, or one of the XYZ monsters, and special summon it to the field. And then if you have another one, or any other level 8 in this deck, as a matter of fact, you can make a XYZ monster. So that's why I've got Armageddon Knight in there. Then we have 2 Clockwork Shikigami, however that's pronounced. It will be in the description if you want to make this deck anyway. This card cannot be normal summoned or set, must first be special summoned from your hand if the only monsters in your graveyard are machine type. So a lot of these monsters are machine type, there are some that are not, so this is one of the cards that you're going to be summoning towards the beginning of the duel. It's level 8, and it's going to be used as an XYZ material for some of the level 8 XYZ monsters in this deck. It has another effect. This other effect is once per turn you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. That target's attack becomes 0 to the end phase. So let's just say you were able to get a Gimmick puppet out on the first turn, maybe Necro Doll. You summon this because you've only got machine types in the graveyard. Use this effect, increase one of your opponent's monsters to 0 attack. XYZ summon Gimmick puppet of strings. 3000 attack versus 0 attack. 3000 damage to your opponent. So it's not a bad effect at all. Then the next card we have in this deck is 2 Dark Grephers. This is the same thing as the Armageddon Knight, really. You can special summon it by discarding 1 level 5 high Dark monster, so that can be either the Clockwork or one of the Gimmick puppets. And also his second effect is you can discard 1 Dark monster, send 1 Dark monster from your deck to the graveyard. So if you were to use this effect, discard 1 Dark monster, so you discarded a Magne Doll, and then use the second part of that effect to send Necro Doll to the graveyard, then you can just use Necro Doll's effect, remove Magne Doll from play, special summon Necro Doll, and you're 1 step closer to an XYZ summon. Then we have a Dark Nephthys. If you have 3 or more Dark monsters in your graveyard and this card in your hand, you can banish 2 of them from your hand, send this to the graveyard, and then during your next standby phase you can special summon it, you can destroy a spell and trap card on the field if there's a target to destroy a spell and trap card, and plus you get this monster on the field. And the reason we have this is because it's level 8. I just thought it was a lot more reliable than the Dark Creator, which I also considered putting into this deck. But this only requires 3 or more Dark monsters, where Dark Creator requires 5, and we don't always have 5 in the graveyard, especially since we're bringing some back and removing some from play. So Dark Nephthys was more reliable, and it's just another level 8 monster for XYZ summons. Then we have a Genex Ally Crusher. Once per turn, when you normal summon a monster with this card's attribute, you can select and destroy 1 card your opponent controls. The only reason we have this is because it's another dark machine, and we just needed I needed something that was kind of bulky and reliable, but at the same time dark and machine monster, because I wanted to get Clockwork Shikigami out as much as I possibly could. So this fit the bill. It was originally a Destiny Hero Defender before I put the Clockwork in, but it has 1000 attack and 2000 defense, so it's reliable in that aspect. And it has a pretty good effect, so say if you were to set it, your opponent attacks it, they could lose some life points, and then next turn you normal summon Armageddon Knight or Dark Grepher or something like that. You can destroy one of your opponent's cards, and plus pull off your warrior's effects, so it's a good card in that aspect. Then, as I said earlier, we have 3 Gimmick Puppets Magne Doll, and then 3 Gimmick Puppet Necro Dolls. I've already explained those. And then for our final monster, we have 3 Machina Cannons. This card cannot be normal summoned a set, must first be special summoned from your hand by sending 1 or more machine type monsters from your hand to the graveyard. This card gains 800 attack for each card sent for this special summon. I don't normally attack or do anything. The only time this ever gets summoned is normally the time this card gets summoned, it is used for an XYZ summon. So a lot of the times I've drawn into this a Necro Doll and a Magne Doll. So I use this effect, send both of them to the graveyard, use Necro Doll, remove Magne Doll from play, special summon Necro Doll, and then go into Gimmick Puppet or Strings or whatever you want. But that's normally how I use that card. You can also use it by getting rid of something like Genex Ally Crusher, special summon that, and then go into Clockwork Shikigami. It's a hard word to pronounce. But you go into that, you have 2 level 8s. And then even instead of going into a Gimmick Puppet at that point, you can go into maybe the Hetric Sun Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis, or however. I think that's the only other level 8 besides Neo Galaxy has Photon Dragon, but I'll explain my extra deck later on in the video. Then a lot of these spell cards are your basic support cards: Dark Hole, 2 gold Sarcophaguses, 1 Heavy Storm, 1 Monster Reborn, and 2 pots of Dualities. Then the things that are extra: Foolish Burial. This again, just get Necro Doll in the graveyard most of the time, or if I need something for Necro Doll to summon off, send Magne Doll to the graveyard. And we also have 2 Machina Armored units. Once per turn, when a machine type monster is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 machine type monster with lower attack and the same attribute from your deck. Very good card, especially when bigger things are destroyed, like the Giant Killer or the Puppets of Strings. Then you can just summon one of your smaller Gimmick Puppets from your deck. They're continuous spell cards, and I'm only running 2 of them. Then just very basic traps. I've got 3 Black Corner Heavens, 1 Solemn Judgment, and 3 XYZ Reborns, because this deck is based around XYZ monsters, so why not put XYZ Reborns in there. Then for the extra deck, it's not your basic extra deck build, but I'm going to go over it. I've got Daigusto Emeral. This is just because we have some level 4 monsters in here, I at least wanted the ability to summon level 4 XYZs. So Daigusto Emeral, Gem Knight Pearl, and then 2 Lavalval Chains. The reason I got 2 Lavalval Chains over anything else is because by detaching a material, you can send 1 card from your deck to the graveyard. Again, sending those Gimmick Puppets to the graveyard is a very good idea. And then we also have a number 39, Utopia. So again, just a little bit of support. As for the level 8 XYZs, we have 2 Hieratic Sun Dragon Overlords, 1 Neon Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. The reason I got this in there is because there are some points where I'm going to be able to XYZ someone with 3 level 8s, and I don't necessarily want to go into Gimmick Puppet Destiny Leo, even though I have one of these in this deck, so that's why New Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon is there. Number 15 Gimmick Puppet Giant Killer and number 40 Gimmick Puppet of Strings. These are the 2 XYZs level 8s that I normally go into. And then, like I just said, a number 88 Gimmick Puppet Destiny Leo. If I'm feeling lucky and I want to get a different win, just want to have a little bit of fun, I'll go into Destiny Leo. So that's why he's there. But anyway, guys, that is my Gimmick Puppet deck. If you have any extra suggestions for the deck, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Also, let me know what you think about these new Gimmick Puppet cards. I really do think they bring out the archetype as a whole, so that's why I really like them. Also, if you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like rating, and if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all the other videos I post. Again, guys, this is Panda1, and I'm out. Peace. Thank you for watching.